things didn't take off. Things didn't take off. It's not, oh, I'm a boss now, like I'm chasing my bag, like I'm in my bag. It was not that at all. I struggled. It's like candy. Hey guys, welcome back to another by Candace Jones production. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you, spilling the tea on my entrepreneurship journey and just giving you guys a story time from the beginning of the journey to where I am at now. And hopefully this video inspires somebody to keep going in their own journey. And I just wanted to show you guys how it is not all glitter and rainbows, how it is a process to get to where you want to be. I'm still not where I want to be yet. I am still on the grind, still trying to get there, but I am proud of where I've come from, and I just wanted to share with you guys. I want to make it clear that I know that entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and I am somebody who advocates for people to do what is best for their lifestyle. But I just wanted to make it clear that 9-to-5s are amazing, entrepreneurship is amazing, side hustling is amazing. Whatever your lifestyle is, just make sure that it works for you, and that is all that matters. Alright y'all, so a little bit of background on me. I grew up just knowing that I was going to be a doctor. I used to say that probably from the age, I would say of like 7 or 8 years old, that I wanted to be a doctor, and I ran with it. When I went to college, I went to school for biomedical sciences. I went to UCF, go Knights. And like I said, I pursued biomedical sciences. It was like the pre-med track at my school, so I did that, and I did not do that well when I was in college. I was mostly distracted by taking naps. Honestly, sleeping is one of my vices. And boys, drama, just whatever the heck. And I did not do that well in my classes. There are some classes that I really applied myself to just because it presented a challenge to me. But other classes, I honestly didn't care that much for school. So when I was in these classes, I would find myself isolated. I did not want to talk to any of my colleagues, any of my peers, because looking back, I truly wasn't as interested as I thought I was. I just overall found that I was not as interested in the topics as my peers were. I would not form study groups. I would not hit up people to study together. It wasn't my passion, and it's painfully clear to me now, but then I just felt like, oh, I need to push a little bit harder. I just need to find ways to get more organized, find ways to get more motivated, etc., etc. Because school and going to class isn't the most fun thing, but when you have that passion for what it is that you're studying, that is what keeps you going. And that didn't keep me going. And my parents, obviously, they were disappointed, and they kept pushing me to do better in school, and I ended up doing decently. I didn't do extraordinarily in school, and that was different for me because I came from high school where I didn't even have to blink in order to get like a 4.5 weighted GPA. And to go to college and to not have that same effect, it really emotionally, it played on me. I felt like a failure. I felt like I told my family, I told my friends that this is what I was gonna do. I went to college, got into college, and I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be a gynecologist, period. You can't tell me nothing. And just the energy, that energy wasn't there when I actually got there and I was in the position to do the work. I remember telling my mom that I wish that there was a way for me to combine all the things that I was interested in into one career. My passion for helping people and the things that truly made me excited. And back then I was doing like little modeling, and I had started my YouTube videos a little bit, and I also was a part of a party promotion, so kind of having business meetings and doing all those kind of things. Those are the things that excited me. But to my family, they looked like distractions. I was being told that doing those things were taking me away from what my purpose was, so I stopped. Now fast forward to graduation. At this point, I'm supposed to be already preparing for med school. Had I prepared for med school? Not at all. I was dragging my feet so severely, and when I tell you, all of these things took a severe hit on my self-esteem. I had told myself for so many years, for my whole life basically, that this is what I wanted to do, and I failed at it. I had subpar grades post-graduation. So now I'm looking at a post-bac program to try and get my GPA up there, to try and supplement my resume, X, Y, and Z, to then be accepted to med school and to try and push even further into something that wasn't really in my heart and in my purpose. So generally, I just felt like a failure. I felt like I couldn't do anything right. I had committed my life to this and I failed. So I found a job as a medical scribe. I worked in the hospital under a emergency doctor as a scribe, meaning I go into the rooms with them when they're doing patient interviews and document the patient's chart. So I was doing that for a while, and that was something that was supposed to help with my resume for medical school. And at that job, I just felt wrong, and I don't want to go on and on about how bad it felt, whatever, but this is just my personal experience. I did not feel like myself when I would clock into a job. I felt like I was just going through the motions of what I was supposed to do. It didn't include any of who I was inside of those things. I was just doing it because I'm somebody who, I pride myself on being good at anything that I put my mind to. So I can do it, I can physically do it, but I didn't feel there as a person while I was doing it. But then at this point, I'm 19, 20 years old. Well, not 19, 20 years old. At this point, I'm 20, 21 years old. What do I know about how something's supposed to feel and who I am and all that stuff? I just know that it's go to college, get a job. In my case, go to college, go to med school, then be a doctor. Like, that was it. So I felt so out of place, but I didn't know how to really put words to that, and I didn't know how to put actions to that. So fast forward, I got another job working at a research facility, and that place was so toxic that I feel like that's what really opened my eyes. The work environment was so toxic. It was arguments with all the co-workers and just drama after drama after drama, and I am not a drama person at all, like at all. I don't even keep that many people around me to be involved in any sort of drama. It just gets my anxiety going, and I literally just can't. So at that point, I'm doing YouTube. Once I graduated, I started doing YouTube a little bit more frequently. So now I'm doing YouTube. I'm seeing a little bit of coin, and I'm like, okay, like, this is cute. Let me keep doing this and see where it can go. So by this time, I have a little bit of following on YouTube, and I started posting on Instagram more, and a lot of my photos were going like baby viral or whatever, just more likes and more exposure than I was used to with my hairstyles and stuff like that. So I just found solace in doing that, and that was what was fun for me. At that point, as a side hustle, it was just so fun. It's all that I could think about when I was at work. It's all that I wanted to do. I wanted to get off so I can do my hair and post a picture. Like, and I used to be like sneaking my computer and editing on my break and doing all those kind of things because I saw that being my out. I saw that being my out because at that I didn't feel like a failure. At that, I felt like I was able to express myself and people appreciated it. I didn't feel like I was trying to fit into some sort of box, and I didn't feel boxed in. So I was doing that, and at this point, I'm like, okay, like, I have a little bit of followers. Like, let me reach out to some brands to see if I can get some brand deals so I can get some real money coming in so this can actually be something that is attainable for me to actually do full time. So I just felt like this big in like a sea full of people. I felt like this small because when you're new into an industry, it's hard to figure out how to really break into it and how to present yourself so people want to work with you. So I found this platform called FameBit, whatever, and that's where I would apply for different campaigns. So I started getting little campaigns here and there, and I was just so excited. Like, I just felt like I had my own little business and my own little thing that I could call mine, and like I can do whatever I wanted to do with, and that just fits my personality so much. Having freedom is one of the things that really speaks to who I am, and that's why I love to be an entrepreneur. Not because it's easy money or not because I just love the grind or anything like that. It's because I need freedom, and I don't want to be miserable going to a 9-to-5. And for me, I don't even think it mattered what the 9-to-5 was. Getting up at a specific time that somebody else told me already just is a no for me, and that's just how I want to live my life. So after that, I put my 2 weeks in. I was so, oh my god, I called my sister boo-hoo crying just because I didn't have the courage. And I don't, why am I always getting emotional? Just because I'm an emotional bitch. I put my 2 weeks in without my parents knowing because in their eyes, you guys know how older people feel about entrepreneurship. And what's funny is that my parents are entrepreneurs. My dad has his own printing shop, and my mom ended up leaving her job to help him with his business, and now they run the place, you know, as equals, and that's what they do for a living. My brother is an entrepreneur. He works with them as well. And my dad, they latched on to the idea of stability, and once I let that dream go, they weren't able to let that dream go and see something else for me. And I think they were just very worried about my future and my stability, and they didn't want me to rush it. But just everything in my spirit, everything in my body was telling me that I needed to move forward. I needed to take a leap of faith. And I did not know what was ahead of me. I didn't know if I was going to continue to grow on YouTube. I didn't even know if YouTube is what I want to do for the long term. But I knew that there was another way. I knew that if I were to have faith, I clung so hard to my faith in that moment. And I need to get back to that. I kind of strayed a little bit, but I clung so strongly to my faith because I needed to listen to me. I needed to listen to God. I needed to listen to and tap into my purpose and really stand in it. And it's hard to bounce back from that after feeling like you're a failure because the original plan that you had for yourself that nobody told you. God didn't tell me that I was going to be a doctor. I said that at the ripe age of 6. So clinging to something that wasn't even my purpose, really, it took so much time to unlearn that and to forgive myself for wasting so much time and not even seeing it as a waste of time, seeing it as a time for me to grow, just shifting my perspective on that situation. And I finally felt ready to conquer it. And I put my 2 weeks in. I felt so guilty for leaving the job, and all that stuff gives me so much anxiety. Firing, quitting, all that stuff. It's just, I hate it. But I did it, and things didn't take off. Things didn't take off. It's not, oh, I'm a boss now. Like, I'm chasing my bag. Like, I'm in my bag. It was not that at all. I struggled. I was still living in my parents' house, so I didn't struggle that bad because my parents, regardless if they were upset at me for quitting without letting them know, my mom she was not happy at all. She was so mad at me. And I had to put up this front like, oh, I'm good, like I'm making this money, like I'm good to support myself. Had I not had them to like let me stay there without paying any rent or anything, I would have been screwed, like for real. But thank God I had them to be able to grow in my entrepreneurship journey. And the reason that I call myself an entrepreneur and not an influencer is because my goal long term isn't just influencing. I don't feel like that is where it ends for me. I want to build businesses. I want to help other people build businesses, and I want to be a full-on entrepreneur. And that's the vision that I have for myself. And though my parents were hesitant, they allowed me to step into that role, and now I'm continuing to step in that role on my own. But I struggled, and I finally got a manager who was able to help me after a year in of being a full entrepreneur, like not having a job at all. She came into my life and really kind of turned things around for me and amped things up. But for that year, I was doing it on my own, and I was using credit cards to pay for certain things. I just was doing what I had to do to stay afloat and to try and continue to push forward and not give up. So I didn't want to go and get a part-time job, which may have been smart, but honestly I was probably just being stubborn because I didn't want to feel like a failure again. Like I had to resort back to getting a job and getting a paycheck, but that probably would have been a smart thing to do. But I'm here, I'm in my own apartment, and it feels so surreal because I dreamt of being able to support myself, and this is my first step in entrepreneurship. I'm not rich by any means, but I am able to support myself by doing things that make me happy, and that for me is a extreme blessing. And for me, if I didn't have the opposition of my family and their beliefs, if I didn't have all the fear, this story wouldn't be as interesting to me. Like this story, I have so much more respect for myself. I have so much more like belief in myself now that I know what it looks like on the other side of stepping out on faith and doing what I feel like feels right for me. And I feel like that's the first step in not only entrepreneurship, but in just becoming an adult and becoming your own person. Not only am I in the position to have freedom to do whatever it is with my time that I feel like works for me, I'm also in a position where I can inspire, where I can help, where I can create for women. And that is just such a full circle moment for me, because that's always what I knew I wanted. I always knew that I wanted to help people, and I just didn't know in what capacity I wanted to help people. And God is just so funny. So funny, because now I'm creating a brand that is centered around the healing of women and just women empowerment, and I feel like that's always been at my core, and now I've really found the way for me to fulfill my purpose. I think that is it. I hope I didn't miss anything. Obviously there's other life things that play into my life, but it wasn't a life story, it was an entrepreneurship journey. But I hope this story inspires somebody, anybody, to continue to push forward and to really assess the things in your life, the people in your life, the activities that you do in your life. Look at everything in your life and how it aligns with who you feel like you are and who you feel like you want to be. And if anything doesn't match up, make a plan to tweak it, to change it. And I promise you that you will be a much more happy person. You will respect and love and trust yourself so much more after making those changes. Woo, that was a lot of talking. That is it for this video. I hope y'all don't feel like I was yelling at y'all. I don't know, when I get passionate about something, I tend to, like, I don't know, get a little aggressive. But if you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment box. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, because that really helps my channel. And subscribe. I post every Wednesday and Sunday, so make sure your post notifications are on so you do not miss a post. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Mwah.